what's the difference between inflation and hyperinflation. Giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I'm going to make this quick. It says here on the screen, B of A, transitory hyperinflation ahead. And this was by Tyler Durden, Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. The year of hastening of the coming of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Now, if you don't know the meaning of inflation and hyperinflation, if you go to Google, they're not going to tell you. They're just going to, basically they're going to tell you that it's something being inflated. You know, hyperinflation meaning more inflation. So they really don't explain what inflation and hyperinflation is, or the difference between the two. If you go to 2nd Ezra's, the 15th chapter, really 2nd Ezra, the 15th and the 16th chapter, mainly the 15 and into the 16 as well, it covers hyperinflation. So pursuant to 2nd Ezra 15 and 2nd Ezra 16, it's going to get really, really bad out here, especially when hyperinflation hits. See, we here at Great Millstone, we don't just open up the book and read scriptures. We filter world events within the scriptures, and mainly that's why, if you notice, we go into a lot of prophecy. We go into a lot of prophetic books. The book of Daniel, the book of Joel, the book of Obadiah, the book of Revelation. You know, the prophecies of the book of Job. Psalms. There's a lot of prophecies in the book of Psalms. In the book of Songs of Solomon, there's a lot of prophecies. Song of Solomon is not a bunch of poetry that Solomon read to his wife. There's prophetic. Well, pretty much the book is symbolic and prophetic. When you read that book with an open mind, Ecclesiastes, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Isaiah, Matthew, Luke, and Mark writes about the Lord speaking about the end of the age. And in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, he speaks about two events: 70 AD and the actual coming of himself when he comes back to the earth, the second advent. Anyway, before he comes back, all hell will break loose on the earth. I mean, you will have normalcy in some areas and chaos in others. This government, the U.S. government, will be intact until the missiles drop. Even to the point of the missiles dropping. Now, if your mind is open through the scriptures, through the true understanding of the scriptures, then you would understand the timetable, what spot of the timetable that you're living in. And when you look around and you see the average person out there, they don't know what the fuck is going on, and they're gonna get caught out there. Anyway, I go to this particular Chinese restaurant and I order maybe a 3 different type of dishes. And one of the dishes I ordered maybe a week and a half ago, and I believe it was $10 even. And I remember maybe before the so-called Crown Vic Royale 2020, I believe that particular dish was $7 maybe. Could have been $7.50, $7.75. But after about a year of this event, it went up. It went up maybe another $1. Then it finally went up to $10. So the last time I got that dish was maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. It was $10. So I went in yesterday and asked for the same, call the dish in, call the order in, and I put $10 out, and the Moabite woman looks at me and she says, but she has this guilty look. She said, I'm sorry, it's $10.75, $10.75. And I said, it went up again? Yes, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. So I kind of laughed it off, and the first thing that came to my mind was inflation. Now, if you watch these talking head shows like Bloomberg and CNBC, Yahoo Finance, they prior to the Crown Vic Royale, they, for the most part, very little is said about inflation, but into this Crown Vic thing, they just, and I knew they were going to talk about inflation. Now they're talking about inflation, but no, they were talking about inflation months ago. Now they're talking about hyperinflation. And like I said, what happened when I went to the Chinese restaurant, that's called inflation. The fact that maybe a year and some change ago, a year and a half ago, that dish was maybe $7 and change. Now it's almost $11. That's called inflation. The difference between inflation and hyperinflation is when you may go and order something at that particular restaurant in the afternoon, then the next day it might be $10.75, then the next day it might be $52, $53, $55. Then the day after that it may be, you notice the gas prices are just shooting up every day. Just keep going up, keep going up. That's called inflation. But when you see prices skyrocket, that's hyperinflation. So the next thing to come is hyperinflation. Now if you have paper dollars saved, your paper dollars is going to be good for one thing: wiping your ass with it. Toilet paper. Anyway, this is from the video Epic Economist, and one of the brothers told me about this YouTube page, which I thought I didn't know about, and I said, oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah, I remember this video. I used to watch these videos, and I kind of lost track of it, but I think they had linked up with the Atlantic Report, I think it's called, which they don't mince words, man. They just come straight out. They just tell you how this economy is. Anyway, it says rental market apocalypse will pop the housing bubble. Anybody that's buying a house right now, you're going to pay a premium price for it. But right now we're experiencing a housing bubble, and all bubbles pop. And when this bubble pops, you're going to experience a thing called deflation, where prices go down, and that's the time to buy. You notice that these super rich, these billionaires / trillionaires, trillionaires, Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and others, they're buying up land. They're buying up property because their goal is to make everybody rent. You will, or the saying is, you will own nothing and will be happy about it. It says rental market apocalypse will pop the housing bubble. Prepare yourself for the worst. Now, if you want to get an idea of how hyperinflation works, put in Venezuela, put in what's this other place? Argentina in the 90s. They experienced hyperinflation. But Venezuela, they've been going through this for years. Those long lines, and sometimes when you get to the front of the line, the product that you're looking for is out of stock. So this society is definitely breaking down, and this is something that you should understand. And what did I tell y'all? I said start buying silver. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom. On to the next one.